Hello. I think we're streaming. Hi, everybody. We're just getting
We'll double
YouTube.
check.
Yeah, we're getting going.
We had a technical,
Few technical issues.
and nothing to do with YouTube.
No, this time it was to do with like 10,000 other computers.
So hopefully
We're here, though.
people are there, and we're here.
Well, we're talking to somebody. If it's just us, it doesn't matter. I
That's
guess.
all right.
But I am sure people are in there. We're
Right.
just getting into the studio, guys, so we can see stuff. That's how we literally just walked in. So.
It says we're live, so
Oh, I hear sound.
all right.
All right, sweet. We got two concurrent
And
viewers.
there's people here that are
Guys.
waiting. Sorry,
Yay.
guys.
We're here.
We
We should pop something into Discord that says we're here. I'll do that.
yeah. Sorry, we are live. It is live, and
Yeah.
sorry about that. We had major technical problems at work, which inadvertently caused us to be later than normal.
Yeah, it spilt over.
And we're in the same spot.
Yeah, hi.
See?
Look.
It's not virtual.
Yeah, he's actually there, and I'm actually.
Hello. Can you hear us now?
Let's see. That should be better.
Can you
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
us?
yeah,
Can
yeah.
you hear us now?
They can hear us. You guys, sorry. From 3D Pretty to 3 Camp, right? I think the sound's back. Let us know. Thanks for coming again. Got the light speed. So, usually before these things, like an hour before.
We normally are setting up like half hour before.
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But today, no.
stuff happened, and
Today we're 22 minutes late.
sorry about that, everybody.
But hello.
Where's your mask closers? They're somewhere.
Well, I think we're almost 6 feet apart. See, he has a big wingspan.
Yeah, it's true. I can reach 6 feet with one arm almost, right? So, but welcome. So, before we get too far in, we're gonna pretend like we're prepared folk, and we're gonna thank our Patreons. So, thank you, Patreon.
Can't hear us.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, they can.
Oh, they can.
They can.
Oh, yeah,
See,
they
look,
can.
they can.
You scared me.
So thank you guys for being Patreons. Helch, thank you for being the top. I see that we got some new Discord people this week, but if your name's up here, you are awesome, and you know why. Speaking of Patreon, this week we got to do a video that was a long time coming.
Yeah. I know Stig was very, I think, anxious for this video to finally come out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he thought about it.
Well, and like we chatted quick on Discord about it a bit, and I said take it with a grain of salt. And I think that they are, like overall, I gave my opinion in the video. They're an okay stepper driver. For me, they don't replace the silent technology, and
Yeah, I think it's kind of a step back. I think if we want to go that way, they need to. TMC can do this too.
Yep.
Right? They have servo drivers and they have all that stuff. Now, whether it's cost effective for the home market,
yep,
that's
to be seen. No.
but I think when you were talking about at the end there that a CNC machine
yeah,
makes a little more sense. I would agree. I think that's where servos and steppers and with the closed looper work best.
yeah, and it's not that they didn't work, right? Like,
Well, they worked.
Like I said, like I was surprised that it introduced some of the artifacting back in, like the ringing and the ghosting, and I would have thought like the STMF chip on there would have been able to help that a little bit.
And
But,
maybe
meh.
there's better firmware, more tweaking, because like it is open source. It is, so it's not to say that it can't get better.
Stig says, "Well, I know I want to install on my printers."
It's good call.
Yeah, and again, like if you were running like a rail core or something that was driven by ball screws, it
Maybe
it might be useful. But again, like I talked about, like the pressure factor,
Yeah,
and that's what it comes down to. Like a 3D printer, it moves as easily as your hand,
Yeah.
basically through the air, right? Obviously, the motors are driving it.
right.
And then I actually saw an interesting question in relation to the open closed loop.
Yeah,
Somebody had asked on that it's the new Delta out there, Speed Racer, I think.
Oh,
It's
yeah, yeah,
called,
yeah, yeah.
Which we have no opinion on, by the way. La.
because they have never sent us one.
Yep. And they tried to trick us. So, but that being said, on the forum, somebody had asked like a question like, are stepper drivers inherently like, or stepper motors, are they just open loop or closed loop? And like, it's an interesting question, but you can answer that just by watching the video. You have to install something
To make them
to
close
make
loop.
them closed loop, right?
Yeah,
So,
and really, a servo is a stepper with a closed loop.
mhm.
It's all integrated in. So, yeah.
like, and if I would really love to do a video, and we haven't yet, and I think Ray, Ray might guess why, right off the bat. But the 5160, like the big boys, I would love to put a bunch of those into my SX4,
yeah,
and
just
then
see.
tell it to go and see.
Yeah, well, and then put clipper on it.
Yep.
And then put the accelerometer on it, and do the full input shaper on it.
I like Dominic's comment. Closed loop steppers are useful if you have a cat. This is true. If it's like batting, but Greg and I fixed that problem in my house because we do have two cats, and Greg and I built the door.
We built a wall.
My cat likes to eat the filament apparently
And
go
get
for,
sick.
Yeah, and then it's expensive. It was more, you know. So, I mean, as far as that goes, I think we answered that good. There was one question on the video about, and I think he's here. Let's just let me scroll up. Yeah, the light speed. We had it back and forth like this much in the comments. Like, why are you looking at speed? And the reason is that was one of the things Stig wanted to see was speed on those closed loop steppers. It's just how it compared.
Yeah.
But again, if you're looking for speed, get higher amperage, right? And then get faster cooling.
You could also get bigger steppers too.
That's true. Yeah, get a little beef on.
Or you can look. There's a few of the high-speed printers that have gone to the full-on motors like you put on an RC.
Yep.
And then they put the the open.
Is it the open build? Or?
Yeah, it's an open. I can't remember, but basically it's a controller that can control the high speed of it, and basically it makes it closed loop type, but it's super high speed.
It is, and and then for cooling you could use that compressed forced air one. Like, I forget the name of it. It's
Bird Air.
Yeah, and then that one would definitely keep up with the speed because like Hevort, as an example, they recommend that, and like they're doing the 9 minute.
You know what he did
speedboats.
the other day? He was lazy, kind of, and he said he hooked it up directly to his compressor and put a regulator on, so he just has a nice stream of air. So it's not so that it's quieter.
Yeah,
and he liked it so much. He says he's gonna have to think about that one.
Right. I mean, so just those additions would make it a little bit better, and you wouldn't end up with like the Rocket. Still my like. It's one of my favorite prints actually right now. I don't know why.
Because it actually successfully recovered.
It's true. We did start successfully, printing parts for Greg's Voron build.
Yay!
So hopefully we'll have those done within a week here, and then we'll start seeing that now. You guys would have seen it on the closed loop video, and when we did the Benchy, the H2 is on my Ender 3 right now.
Oh yeah.
So the H2 extruder from Big Q. And first off, let me say, like they actually, so one, they sent us this, just so you know.
Full disclosure.
Dan says, I'm looking at the rat rig. That
looks nice.
I've seen it, and I can't see any like glaring issues. So yeah, maybe a rat rig. Maybe Greg builds a Voron and I build a rat rig. Who knows?
Well, you're that's almost a rat rig.
It really is. Like, I don't know if you guys, Greg and I will do a printer tour for you. I mean, some of them are stuff you have seen, Enders, but you've seen my SX4, but you haven't seen what it is now. It's nothing the way it was in that video.
I think you could probably change the way the build plate is controlled and make it more Hivortian.
If that's we're making up words, just so you know. But a rat rig, it's not bad, and I think too. I'm on Greg's side with the thinking of throwing Clipper at it as well.
Well, it'd be good because we're both going to need to understand some Clipper. And hopefully my second accelerometer comes in, and I will drop it off. You can connect it to your Pi.
Do some pressure advance.
Yes.
So yeah, but the rat rig, honestly, like the rat rig looks good. And what would you go, Big Tree Tech or Duet 3? Honestly, now we have something coming that will let us answer this question. Yes. So Greg has the spider, and he ordered the
octopus.
Right, he got. Wait, I didn't know about the octopus. Did I?
Did you not watch my video? On the live stream that last week, I said I haven't told David yet.
See, I still didn't know.
I also ordered an octopus.
So there you go. Like that'll. Honestly, if those two pan out, Dan, I would go with them far before I did a Duet. Now, the one that I would actually go to though, and I think Greg might, but Spider has a new version, and we actually talked about this on our podcast.
Yes, we have a new episode out, and we actually go into it in detail.
So yeah, check out the 3D Make It podcast where you get podcasts.
Shameful plug.
Yeah, but like when that was one of the things we were kind of saying is it right now those two boards, the Octopus and the Spider, are locked into Marlin, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, so the difference, and we talk about it in more detail in the podcast, is the chip. There's is it 407? 407 chip and a 467.
I think that's it. Yeah.
So the 407 is if I'm not mistaken the same one that the Duet uses, and all the ones like that are running the rep firmware and whatnot, they use that one, and we go into detail on why. But the Spider is going to have a second version available. And I think it was just due to chip availability at the time.
Right, yeah.
So it's going to have a 407 version, so you could actually run RepRap, you could run Marlin, or you could run Clipper.
So you can get all of them, right?
Yeah.
And so that'll be something that we talk, like, that's great that they're both coming, but Dan, that's the way, actually, like, I don't know if I would say Octopus, which is Big Tree Tech, or Spider, which is FSEC Tech, whatever how you say that. But I'm not sure which one of those we would pick right now, but one of those.
And there's nothing wrong with Duet.
It's
I want to be.
expensive.
I just want to be clear on that.
No, they're great.
If you can afford a duet and you want to utilize a duet,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but I have
we're not
to fuel my
against.
habit.
we're not against it.
No.
We're just poor IT people with Canadian dollars, and we got to save them.
Yeah, we're poor underpaid IT people.
And I just had to buy 2x4s, so my retirement went away.
Again, that's the third time now. But so in roundabout, that's our answer. Probably those ones on a rat rig, those two boards. I think the other thing we do, shameless plug part 2, we do talk more closed loop steppers in the podcast as well a bit there.
But there's news.
Greg, what's the news, Greg?
Well, there's another version of Marlin released.
So remember, like before, you're welcome, Dan. Remember in the before time when we were like, oh man, we sure hope Marlin 2.8 comes, so we talk about it. Yay! Now it's like every week there's a new dot version.
Hey, just wait, because when Marlin 2.8.3 comes out, it'll be stable and we'll want 2.0.9.
Hey, Gary. Welcome.
Hey, Gary.
Yeah, I think I said hello to everybody, but if I didn't, I see Stig, Dom, Gary, Ray, and I think Lightspeed was up top there. So welcome, Dan.
And,
too. Nice.
and Lightspeed, why did you add the for now?
You're right. And whoever said we were melting, you're not wrong. It was above 32 degrees
Well,
down here
we
today.
tried to split it like right here,
Right? Like, we should put the overlay up, and then
it'll look like we're in two different places.
rooms. It almost looks like I didn't. I know, right? Sorry about that. We could try. Got the octopus on the way, waiting for it to ship.
Yeah.
3D. Like, I know they're
Wildcat.
starting fulfillment. Like, some people have said that
mine-
they got notice.
Mine have shipped and they've left China. That's all my shipping notification says. I did receive some steppers today
Ooh.
for my SKR V2, which is now fixed thanks to
Yay,
Vince.
Vince.
And I also received the Wi-Fi module to go in it.
Yes. Yeah.
So
That's
I'm
cool.
going to be doing a little bit of an overview on that, and then I'm going to decide which printer to put it in.
It's shaping up. I just want to talk about a pet peeve thing right now that it's like a buzz, and it's actually like the Achilles heel of that SKR board, the 2. Like, there was not a need at all to make them reverse driver safety, blah, blah, blah.
Well, yeah, I agree. And we talked about this in our podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do, because if you're running a modern stepper driver, so a 2208, most likely someone's going to throw in a 2209
Yep.
or a 2522 or a 2526.
Yeah.
It's hard to put those ones in wrong.
Did that to get the steppers. That's the only problem with those 8 driver boards is all the steppers you have to
I ordered
drive,
them all at the
right?
same time.
But yeah, it's really hard to get them wrong. And there's not one company that I have found yet that you could even use color blindness as like one of the things, because they always use like black or like red
Or yellow
There's
or
never
green,
like green, red and stuff. So they try to make it. But like guys, and I think most of us know in the group, but like when you're plugging in the stepper, just look on top and look at what it says. If it says EN, match that to EN and DIR, and then you're fine.
Right, and I understand with the 4988s, which are the absolute cheapest drivers you can get, less common now. I'm not saying people. I'm not saying people aren't buying them, because they probably are still.
Yep.
But those ones, it was very easy, because some models, well, they have the pot on the one side, some models that have the pot on the other side, and if you just use the little pot as your guide to stick it in and didn't actually look at which one's your enable pin,
you'd have an issue.
you could smoke your drivers. So I get why they were going that direction, and it's very unfortunate that they swapped the MOSFET at the last minute. When they had designed it correctly, they just
Yeah,
their
it was just
supplier
that
couldn't.
manufacturing error, right?
Yeah.
But-
So
and it kind of put a bitter taste in the mouth for the feature. But again, give it a couple months, nobody will remember it.
Yeah.
Like the SKR 1.4 turbo had its issues.
oh, just wait till the SKR3.
or right or the what was it? The one that I did.
But
E3
that's-
turbo.
The SKR3 needs to be 64-bit with a full co-post processor in it,
Actually-
and at least 4 gig of RAM.
So one of our channel perusers, subscribers, that's usually here, and he's not. Maybe it's just because we didn't show up on time, but you guys probably see Ben Brady around the community.
Oh yeah, Ben. Yep. He's
8
not
or
here today.
9s or what you think for the V. So if you don't, so like, I like using the 09s personally, just because they have the better cool guard and they actually drive a little better.
Yeah,
even,
they have a
even if
little-
you're not using the features.
Yeah, they have a little higher amperage
Yep.
and whatnot. So
They
they're-
do stall guard if you really wanted it.
Yeah, I'm not. I had issues with stall guard, but that was when I was using 2130s,
Yeah.
and it acted funny.
But I would definitely, if it was a choice, I'd say 09s.
Yeah,
I quite enjoy
both boards I just ordered.
Mhm.
09s.
09s. So, but if you, the one thing I was just going to mention, there's a new controller board out there called the Panda Pi.
I heard about that
And
one.
it
Was
is-
it Ben?
It
that
was,
just put it?
Ben. Ben has it, and I was hoping he was going to be here, but it's a controller, but it has a dock for the Pi, but it's like a clipper integrated thing.
It
and-
almost to me looks more of a CNC
A
type
kinda,
hat
yeah.
controller thing.
It looks cool though, and it is available, so we might try to get one, maybe. But as far as like stepper drivers go, like in the long run, it's not a like. I have 2209s. I've never actually used this, like, other than to play with it.
Right.
I got end stops on my printers already, so it was like, if for some reason I bust an end stop, then I'll go style guard.
I
but,
mean, I mean, it works well on some printers. Like Prusa uses it.
oh yeah. There's,
So
there's
it's not-
absolutely
it's-
nothing wrong with it.
It's not like it doesn't work.
Nope.
But if you have a weird, if you clip your model something weird and it gets enough torque, it'll think
Mm-hmm.
that it's actually
Well, and that's where
stopped.
you really have to work with your jerk acceleration.
Yeah, you have to have
and
it
the
dialed in.
thresholds.
Has to be
Um,
dialed in very good.
I'm used to the 22. You won't notice the difference. Honestly, you plug them in, they look the same. It's just in your Marlin or whatever firmware you're doing.
Yeah, if you had the older with the SKR 1.4 turbo,
Mhm.
I think I called David up and I'm like, David,
Help.
I had to cut the pin.
Don't do it.
I had to cut the pin because you had to cut the diagnostic pin
Yeah.
off, because unlike the SKR 1.3s, the 1.3s you could just say no, don't use that, and it ignored the pin.
Yeah.
The SKR 2 then allows it, but as long as you get the right version B,
Yep.
and then it's good. You can not use it or use it. And I think you don't have to cut the pin anymore on the Octopus.
No.
So
They
you
fixed
should
that,
you
and-
should be good, which is silly. You shouldn't. I do like the way Fly.
Yeah.
I showed you the Fly stepper.
Yeah.
It has a little dip switch right on the stepper
It's
where you
sweet.
turn off the pin.
Yeah. Like that's
Any
that-
board.
That's sweet, right? And Creality is what I have now. Yeah, so the Creality board, if you're going to an Octo, yeah, like so. Which version of the Creality? Because there's a few different, but none of them actually had like 2209 equivalents on them, except. Sorry, I'll stick by that statement. I was about to say except the Big Tree Tech E3 Turbo, but that's not a Creality board.
The Creality, and the one thing that is nicer over the Creality boards is, and I'm not sure on that one, but the Creality boards don't do UART.
No, none of them do.
And so I think that's a limitation in my mind,
Yeah.
because you can do a whole bunch of tweaking, diagnostic, and everything without ever opening up your case.
Yeah, and I'm fairly
So-
certain that 2.47 has. Yeah, so like that's it's funny because there's actually like a couple different versions, but the 4.27 is supposed to be using the new 2225s, I do believe. If you read, I'm reading Creality's thing right now. So yeah, like the 427 is supposed to have 2225s, which is the cheaper version of 2208s.
Yes.
But like the whichever one you get of those two, they're similar. The 2209s and I think is the 2226
Yes.
are the
Yes.
paired ones. But like honestly, I very much like my 2209s because they do run cool. And we talked about the temperature in controller boxes, and we are working on doing a video. But like the 20, I can run without cooling in the box with 2209s. You don't notice it's running.
Yeah. So I recently resurrected my 2130 chips.
Yeah.
Holy cow! You need active cooling on those suckers.
Oh yeah.
Because
They're little heat
they,
plants.
I literally almost burnt my finger on the heat sink.
We should call me.
That's how hot it was. Oh man.
Plug
So
it, okay.
so 2208s and 2209s run way cooler.
Yep.
And I'm sure it's very similar
Mhm.
for the 2225s and
Yep.
6s. The difference is they changed the packaging.
That's all.
And the packaging, I believe, is less expensive
It is, yeah.
to package it that way
and they have the
create a board.
wider.
It's,
They do have the wider trace on top for the.
yeah, well,
cooling.
the chip is like longer and skinnier
Yeah.
versus the little tiny
yeah
square ones.
So it does work better. Stig says, "I wish Creality put more work into making good 32-bit boards."
I don't think they make bad boards. The problem is they don't make complete boards.
They're making so. I understand where Stig's coming from, because if you're looking at like an upgrade, and let's say you have an Ender 3 Pro, and you're like, oh, I want to upgrade this, and I just want to drop in, and you think, well, Creality makes a drop in. Well, yeah, it'll get silent, but it's actually not an upgrade, and then they don't finish all the pinouts, so then you need goofy adapters for BL touches, and whereas
With the V2, I don't think you need
no,
the
yeah,
goofy
no,
stuff.
they did fix that eventually, but like when you look at like the E3 Dip, E3 Mini, and E3 Turbo, those are complete boards. And actually, like if you look at the E3 Mini, I think they're on 1.2, maybe 1.3 now, I forget. But if you look at that board, that is like a Creality drop-in.
Yeah.
Like it's almost the same, and they put all those features, including like a rail for lights and
Yeah.
like everything, right?
And Stig says that he hasn't had problems with overheating. And no, if you're running 2208s or 9s, the overheating of the actual stepper drivers has been well mitigated
Yeah.
because they can handle the higher amperages properly because of their design. It's only when you go on to the 5160s or the even higher one, which is rare to find, is the 5161s, which have they put actually MOSFETs built right into the 5161
Yep.
chip. So
Interestingly
yeah.
enough, when you drive the 5161s, though, at what amperage you would require to 3D print at, they're cool.
Oh well, they're dead cool
Because they're not using any of the.
well, they're designed to run like the
Oh, yeah.
51s like large
CNC beef.
CNC beefy
Yep.
motors. So even the 2209s technically and whatnot, they were designed to run higher end stuff. So
Yeah, those are yeah they are. But that's why I say it would be fun because with more amperage, more torque, more speed, you could send your hot end right through the wall.
I still think you need to put some chopper blades on there. You can fly your 3D printer.
Did you? Oh, so I don't know which Core XY it was, but somebody built the steppers and they put a little cup in a ball and they programmed it to throw the ball up and then the cup would whip around and catch the ball.
Oh, I haven't seen that video. I'm gonna
I'll
have to
posted
Google
it
that.
before him. It's so funny. It's Core XY. But like when you're talking drivers and steppers and boards, like the Creality board in particular, it's not that they're bad. It's just that the feature set is lacking in the sense that UART. Even if you were to add UART to that board, Like I will not run a printer controller now without UART.
And I think it's the logic that they need to add to make the UART work is not very much. Like, especially if they built it onto the circuit board. The only real big reason that they went to the 2225s is cost. So I mean, we could look it up, but and maybe we'll do a little more deeper research for the podcast, and we'll put that in there.
That'll be good. Nerdcast,
but because we were even saying, like, you know, in the old days when the original CR10 came out with the original the original 8-bit boards, right? The original CR10. Yeah, but it looked like it had an extra stepper.
And it did.
But the chip was actually missing. Like, because it just, all you'd have to do is drop it on, heat it up, melt it, and then it was good to go. They put every other circuit on there but that one chip.
Yep. And you could, if you wanted to, you could solder that chip on. The traces were there.
The solder blobs are there too.
Yeah.
You literally
It's just like,
heat it up.
But like, and we talk about that on the podcast in a little bit detail there. But like, if I were buying a new board, I'm not a loyalist to a brand at all. We've bought Big Tree Tech just because like before Big Trek it was MKS.
Yeah, I bought it. I have a Fly now.
Yeah, you have Fly. You have F-Side Tech coming.
Yeah,
we really need to learn how to say their name.
Yeah.
Sorry, company that we can't say your name.
If you, I'm sure if you decided to send us product,
Yeah, we would gladly
make sure that we say your name exactly
properly.
Right multiple times.
Yeah, like David needs a
hint,
new
nudge,
board.
nudge.
Just kidding. Now, one thing too that we talked about doing, and now I'm almost set up to do, is we're going to do some videos on milling and getting Fusion 360 going as your toolpath.
And David's done a lot of work on that, more than me.
It's fine.
So I would like to do that, but I know we had a little discussion in Discord with our good friend Ray, and he was talking about wanting to mill some aluminum parts. I think we said like three or four. Was it 3 or 4 mil, Ray, that you wanted to potentially mill some pieces out of? And I would like to have, even it doesn't have to be a big machine, but a small machine that's tough enough and robust enough that could do that. So it's not like and Ray knows this. It's not like I haven't picked up aluminum extrusion that I could use for that.
Spoiler alert: the 3018 that I have will do aluminum.
Well, yeah,
it will, and then especially if I put the closed loop steppers on them.
I'm supposed, and if you were more patient and did multiple passes, like, so you
well, that's just it. Like you can't. You have to base your like speed on your router and the spindle
motor,
speed and all of that stuff, because if your motors aren't powerful enough and if your spindle's like the default one, you're going slower.
And programming multiple passes is not so bad.
What board would you use for a 40-watt laser? My answer for that is, if right now I would use one of the boards I have sitting over there, which are all just Creality Ender boards. But
any board, because your laser, the PWM does control the power of the laser.
It does,
right? But it's not. It's not the full control of the laser.
So like the PWM can. It depends on the laser, but generally it's just like an on-off pulse.
It's a pulse. So
but like if I was buying a new board, I'd just buy probably like the cheapest SKR one out there, or the Fly. Mellow.
Anything. If you got an old Ender board kicking around,
it'll work.
It'll work. Now, do you want it to be quiet? Well, okay, then you need to get a different board. But I took a little tiny CNC hat and put it on an Arduino, and my daughter made a little drawing machine to draw different types of pictures with different pencils, and has a little servo and whatnot, and it works good. And you could put you could just put a laser on that.
Yep.
Right.
And then when you're talking about like if you're gonna CNC and use it for laser burning and stuff, a lot of the CNC mills they use Gerbil control or Mach as firmware.
Yeah.
And so you can use Marlin too. And remember in the video that we did about deciding whether to upgrade, lots of the features I mentioned were specifically laser, CNC, active cooling, and that kind of stuff. So there is now. Ray is right. Like the default 3018 can mill. If you want to go up, all you have to do is actually upgrade the spindle and the closed loop steppers, and it will have a far better time. But again, that's another topic. I don't know how many guys are into CNCing that watch the
I
channel.
Want to be into
right?
CNCing.
Well,
but
we'll get there.
okay.
But like, I mean, to start out, like that's it was like $200.
Yeah.
And it's not huge, but it's big enough. And right now, if you were to buy a piece of wood for it, it would be more than the mill itself.
Yeah.
It's all. It's a good investment. But yeah, for laser and that stuff, whatever is lying around, as long as it has like a fan control.
Yeah,
on it, right?
If you want, you can go on Amazon and pick up just a little CNC hat and an Arduino if you want to play around with that. Maybe have an Arduino kicking around. Some of us do, with all the stuff that we.
Somewhere over there.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, right under the closed loop.
So I mean, you can do whatever you want with that. It's actually very easy. And I mean, my daughter built the whole thing. I just assisted. So.
Right. And that's a cool
really
project too, right? Like, lots of people there was a period where it was like a buzz thing to turn your ender into a plotter.
Yeah, you get the little pen adapter.
Yeah, and then you set the Z height and away you go. But I mean, that being said, it's a rabbit hole to chase, and we're happy to chase it. It's just we want to make sure we're chasing the right rabbit hole for people too.
yeah, and so if you guys want to see some more CNC on this channel, I think it doesn't hurt to go into that, because we're dealing with robots here.
Well, and like a 3D printer is a CNC machine. Yeah. It's just subtractive instead of additive, right? And a laser burner, it's the same. It's exactly the same principle. The G code is mostly the same.
Well, you're just turning on or off the laser or on or up and down the servo. Yeah. Right? It's just whatever. So it's all very similar.
Anyway, I'm going to click this button over here, y'all. Hold on. This button. Right here. I did it. So, thanks to our patrons. It's the very last time today we'll say thank you, I think.
Yeah. Well, no, we'll probably say thank you on the complete end.
In a few minutes, right? But thank you to the patrons. Thanks, Helge, for being a true supporter. We sure appreciate that's why I asked. I'm in that rabbit hole. Well, I tell you what, Wildcat, join the Discord and come hang out, and we will chase rabbits with you.
Yeah, we go down many rabbit holes in the Discord.
Yeah. Once I can get rid of this, there we go, right, that one. If you guys haven't already, I mean, we always do this at the end, but if you hit the like button and the share button and the subscribe button,
if you haven't already subscribed, a lot of you we know are subscribers, and we appreciate it. And all your comments, when you comment on videos and we reply and whatnot, that all helps the algorithm gods.
It does, and we do our best to reply. If it seems like we're ignoring you, probably what's happened is it's got buried in the console.
We answer them in spurts.
We do once a week. Just did. Yay!
Thanks.
Welcome. So when we're looking at like CNC is something that we wanted to get into for a while, and it's at a point where there's a few different products. Sadly, one that I was using, Inventables, is a company that makes a CNC mill called the X-Carve and Carvey, and they're actually they're decent mills and big, but they just changed to a paid software. It was like $180 a year or something, and I was like, oh, well, that's too bad. Yes, we do. Right. We have a couple of projects going on too for like the IDEX.
Well, yeah, Ray is like light years ahead of us.
That doesn't matter. IDEX is happening.
He's been like going whole hog. I know
Yeah.
he's waiting for some parts.
He also has an unfair advantage, though.
Yeah,
Like,
but
he's
we
right
won't
in
we
the
won't we
story,
won't say what the
Right?
advantage
No,
is.
no. I mean,
But some people know what his advantage is, and you know we have our full time jobs plus families and this and that. So we got to fit this in on the side.
this
Right.
is like fourth job.
Yeah, I was literally halfway done framing a wall for my trailer
Yeah.
outside repair. So, but yeah, it's
I turned the blue light on.
well, it's better late than never.
Guys, it's on. So just pretend it was on. But yeah, we've it hasn't been an hour, but I actually have to go back to work.
Yes.
So
sorry for the delayed start.
But we will. We're gonna see you probably in a week. Are you a couple? No, thank you.
No.
Good try.
We're a couple of nerds.
Yeah, there you go.
We are a couple of nerds. So, but that's about it.
Yep. So anyway, we will. We'll have to let you go for now. But thank you. Remember, like, subscribe, share. We said that. Podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
Podcast.
If you haven't checked it out, 3D Make It podcast, probably on any of your favorite pod-catching devices.
Podcast, yes. And if in doubt, just check out 3dmakeit.ca and you will find all of our socials. But until next time, see you later.